my name is Sheila and welcome to Eula's English Country again. An English book to read today is Magic Tree House, Earthquake in the Early Morning, and Chapter 5, Stop. And we cannot just start it at Chapter 5 and then the end of reading at Chapter 7 because we are reading 2 chapters in one book every time. And now, are you ready for this one book with 2 stories to read? And now, here we go. And first you can read Magic Treehouse Earthquake in the Early Morning, Chapter 5, Stop. Jack and Annie ran up the street to the book wagon. The man was carefully stacking the books in the back of the wagon. He was covered with dust, and his glasses were cracked. "Hey, what's the story?" Annie asked the man. Jack couldn't help smiling. Annie sounded just like the newspaper reporter. "I'm moving all the rare books in the pavilion," the man said. "Can we help?" said Jack. "Sure, there were only few left by the door," said man. "Grab, man, hurry! The fires on Market Street will be blowing this way." Jack and Annie ran to the building. Near the door was 2 small stacks of books. Jack and Annie each gathered up the stack, and the books looked very old and fancy. Some even had sparkling gold on their covers. "Wow," whispered Jack. He and Annie carried the books outside. "Careful, please," said the man. "These books are treasures, ancient Bibles, and hand-painted books." The man carefully took the books from Jack and Annie's arms and put them in the back of the wagon. "Thanks," he said, pushing the hat back. "Run home now. The fires will be here soon." As the horses stared up the hill, Annie waved and shouted, "Good luck." "I will bet he was the librarian," said Jack. He opened his research book. He looked for a photograph of the building that had books. "Here it is," he said. He read aloud. People tried to say special things, but they did not always succeed. Rare books from the library was moved to the pavilion building. When the pavilion building caught fire, all the books burned. The building that ordinarily had them did not burn at all. "Oh no," cried Jack. Stop! Clutching the research book, he ran after a wagon and Annie ran with him. Stop! They both yelled. They ran as fast as they could over the broken cobblestones and up in a steep hill. "Wow, I think when the building have fires, all the Bible and all the books will be burned. So they need to be careful." But this man didn't know what happens at the pavilion building. So Jack and Annie are saying, "Stop! The pavilion building might have a fire, so the book might be all burned." And near the top, the driver finally heard them. He brought his wagon to halt. "You can't go into a pavilion," Jack cried. "You have to take them back to the building where they are," said Annie. "They won't burn there," said Jack, trying to catch his breath. The building you're talking them to is going to burn instead. The driver looked at Jack and Annie as if they were crazy. You kids need to worry about yourselves, not these books, he said. Go home to your parents. I will take care of the library. Then the man snapped the reins, went to the hilltop. Come back, Jack cried. They watched helplessly as the wagon bumped down the street over the rubble and smoke pulled up from the bottom of the hill. I can't believe it, Jack said. He was close to tears. We tried, but we couldn't save them, said Annie. She touched Jack's shoulder gently. All these books, his voice trailed off. Hey, said Annie. Someone is crying over there. Someone with two kids. Maybe we can help them. Annie wants to help a lot of people. Very kind, Annie. And now chapter thinks something to land. Oh, I think Jack and Annie find something to land. And a woman in a blue bathrobe was sitting on the crumbling stone wall. She was sobbing into her handkerchief. Two boys in dark hair sat next to the woman. The boys were dusty, torn pajamas. They were both barefoot. The younger one was watching the older boy writing on the rectangular piece of the wood with a clunk of coal. Annie put them Jack over to the family. Hi, I'm Annie, she said. And the two boys looked up. I'm Peter, said the youngest. He's my brother, Andrew. And she is our Aunt Mary. He pointed to his brother and then to the woman. And then he spoke. Aunt Mary tried to smile through her tears. Forgive me, she said. I'm a bit shaken up. And we're too, said Annie, spastically. The house caught fire, Peter said. We escaped, said Andrew. We lost most of our things. We lost our shoes, said Peter. Jack and Annie looked at the boys' bare feet, and they were caught in a bleeding. Hey, my boots are just like boys' boots, Annie said. One of you can wear them. Take mine too, said Jack. And he and Annie started including their boots. We can just take your boots, said Andrew, and then we will lend them to you, said Jack. He and Annie handed their books out of the boys. Thank you, said the Aunt Mary. She started crying again. The two boys put their new boots on, and then Peter whispered something to Andrew. Andrew held out a piece of wood to Jack and Annie. Here's something we can lend you, he said. Jack and Annie read a poem the brothers had written one piece of wood. There is no water and still less soap. We had no city, but lots of hope. Thanks, said Annie. It's a great gift, said Jack. We needed some hope. It's the only thing we can lend you, said Andrew. Land, said Annie. And she looked at Jack. Oh, wow, we just gave us a special writing something to land. And Jack smiled. They can go home now. You should go to Golden Gate Park. That was the reporter told us, he said to the boys and their aunt. Is that where you're going? asked Aunt Mary. She had stopped crying at last. Look stronger. We have to go home to our parents, said Annie. Will you be safe? Asked the aunt. Yes, one of our home. We will be safe, said Jack. Thanks for lending us your boots, said Peter. You're good friends, said Annie. You've helped us more than you know, said Jack. Be careful, said Aunt Mary. We will, said Jack and Annie, and they waved as the new friends handed off to the park, and Jack sighed. Ready, he said. Yeah, said Jack. I guess we just go back the way we came. And Jack looked down the street. A smoke billowed from the bottom of the hill. That might not be easy as it sounds, he said. Now, chapter 7, Dynamite. Oh, why is the dynamite is a chapter, the name of the chapter? Let's see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we started at chapter 7, and then we are reading at chapter 9 because we're reading a 2-story in one book. At this magic tree house, earthquake in the early morning, okay? And now, did you have fun? Here's English Country. Come back with some this book, but not this story because it might be a new chapter to read, okay? And now, please don't say my YouTube every time. And now, bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice